All right, guys, don't get dizzy. Let's see if I can do this without having to. There we go. All right, I'm going to wait for this room to populate for this live stream. To give you guys an update. Well, now that chat is available after the fact, so you guys can actually see if there's going to be any chat or anything saved. There is a reason for the out of the frying pan into the fire. After my surgery for the EVAR, endovascular aortic repair, it wasn't maybe even 8 weeks, 2 months after the surgery, I noticed that something was going on downstairs. Let me tell you what that's called. It's called a bilateral hydrocele, and it was affecting me before I even went into surgery. It's basically walking around like someone, or feeling like someone kicked you in the nuts. Now, I thought about putting an age restriction on here, but I decided not to because of the sensitive nature of what I have to, talk about with, my medical problems going on downstairs. Gopher Rider has contacted me and asked me to contact everyone, do an update on what's going on. I am trying diligently to get back into the saddle. We took a hard blow. A customer's, I don't know what you call it, maybe a customer's dissatisfaction with a job or the length of time that it took to do this job because of my surgery. They decided to withhold the final $1,100, which was due. Now that boat is in Mexico Beach. I'm not happy about it, but sometimes this is what happens. This is why a lot of times when I ask a customer to come up with the entire amount, it usually belongs to a charter or it is a boat captain acting on behalf of the owner. In this particular case, it was a contractor acting in behalf of the owner who lives in Georgia. I am not going to put any names out there of the contractor, of the person or owner that lives in Georgia, nor even the boat name. Nonetheless, we were 45 days over projected forecast of completion, and now we are without funds and have been without funds for quite some time now, and we don't know what to do about it. We've walked the docks to try and generate some more jobs and stuff like that, but it has not happened. I see two people have joined, but I haven't seen anybody type into the room. But welcome one, welcome all. Anyway, long story short, let me just brief you guys on the situation that's going on right now. We're trying to wrap up the sofa. That's the arm over there in the distance, and this is the material that we're going to be going back with. This sewing machine took a dump. Right in here is a mechanism for thread tension. So I sent off for a replacement part. It's a threaded shaft. We put that one in. And when we got the replacement, we got this also. So both machines are up and running. That is my good news report that I have for you guys. The sad and unfortunate thing is we're playing catch up right now, trying to get back into the saddle, back into production, and one thing after another. As I said before, I've got to take Tylenol. I do have a prescription for Percocet, but I don't use it because Percocet causes constipation. And so that is the other thing that I have been dealing with. So I minimize the use of that as much as possible. As for the tango, guys, I do have to finish this sofa. I have to get to where my nights are not consumed with the backlog of jobs that we have before I can get back on the tango. We're going to put the tango into the front position of the backlog jobs at night. But right now, this sofa is consuming every moment of my days and my nights. As soon as I get this finished, though, we're going to get back on the Tango. The 57 DeSoto is also still in the works. We did finally get it unseated from the rut that it was in the yard. So now it has been moved from its position to where it used to be to a new position, which is closer to the house, so that I can get my welding machine and stretch the cord out to the DeSoto and start working on the floor pans so that we can go ahead and get that done. Had it not been for the owner bringing us a jack and jack stands, we would still be in the same position we're at now. So we did get the front right tire elevated enough to get some dirt filled back in there. Apparently some kind of critter was living in that, and it just, as the critter bored holes to make his little niche, his little home, more comfortable, the car just gradually sunk down and sunk down and sunk down. It got to the point to where my poor little Dakota would not pull it out of its little rut. So we used a Dodge 2500 after I had fortified and put some more dirt back into that hole, and I used a 2x4 to tamp it down. And then I kind of gradually built a ramp up out of dirt, and so that it would just roll up out of that, hole. And we now have it moved. It's now a little bit closer to the outlet. Now my cord for my welder stretches out to the front deck out here. You guys have watched my videos. You know where the front deck is, and I do a lot of my welding out there. And sometimes when I do a frame for an awning, I actually do it out on the grass because it's more level there. Far as the power cord for that, I have to work it back and forth between the front and the back of the trailer so that I can even do anything, for welding. I'm going to have to change up the aluminum. Got to get some more argon gas. Now, the one really cool twist about this entire thing is instant karma. So about a week after delivery of this boat that we had got done doing, we got a call from the owner, from the contractor. The owner had contacted the contractor and said, look, the material that you put on this boat is peeling. So we've contacted the company up north, the company that manufactures the material, hopefully, and I've been waiting. It's about 10 minutes after 11 our time. We're waiting. They're in Kansas, so I'm going to say they're probably an hour behind us. So he's probably reviewing the whole situation, going over the entire situation with the other people up there at the manufacturer. So we're hoping that they will pay for the labor and the materials and the logistics involved in going and retrieving from Robertsdale. Now you can do the math, you can do the mileage. From Robertsdale to Panama City or Mexico Beach is just to be the other side of Panama City from where we're at, okay? There, 5 hours. Retrieve the cushions and get everything and bring it all back here, another 5 hours. I'm not going to be on the road for no 10 hours, guys. I am going to be staying overnight. So we're going to get there. We're going to get the materials and cushion collection off of the boat. We're going to put it in the back of the truck. We're going to find lodging. And first thing in the morning, the next day, we're going to be coming back up here to Robertsdale. 3 or 4 days in production, and then we're going to take all that material and put it back on the boat after another 5-hour drive back to Mexico Beach, and then come back up here to Robertsdale, and hopefully we'll get paid out. Most cases, we don't get paid to do a job twice. And I'm going to tell you this for all you boat owners out there that decide that you're going to pick out your own material. I'm going to suggest and recommend that you listen to your local upholstery shop and whether or not they advise using this kind of material, because this is what's going to happen. This material that we put on this boat is a particular manufacturer. There are competition manufacturers out there.
which have better products. If you are a manufacturer and you're trying to match and do the same thing and produce the same kind of material, you're putting your company's reputation out there, you're putting the product out there, and you're putting your installers, your upholstery shops in a position to where we may have to explain ourselves. So if we go back with the same material and the same scenario happens, it starts peeling again, then we're going to have to suggest to the owner of the boat or to the contractor so that they can relay the information. This material might not be conducive to your lifestyle. So we say all that to say this. Check with the upholstery specialist. It's what they do. Okay. Contractors do their thing. Boat owners do their thing. Upholstery shops do their thing. I am not going to go to a boat owner and tell him how to operate his boat. I'm not going to go to a contractor and I'm not going to tell him what tools he should use. Thus, a boat owner and a contractor should not come back to the upholstery shop and say, this is what we're going to use. Because if that happens again in the future, guys, let me be frank and honest and blunt. I will make my customers sign a waiver, because I know that a material, even though it is marine rated, if it only has 200,000 double rubs, that tells me a year and a half. In this particular case, it didn't even last a hot week, and it starts peeling. I'm not sure if it's because it was in the cockpit area of the boat, because a lot of fish fighting goes on in that area. You could sit there and strap down into a seat that is basically exposed to the hostile environment every day, ultraviolet light, seawater, salt, all that kind of stuff. Unless it's vinyl, it's probably not going to hold up. Okay? And this is just me talking out loud. Guys, this is a 12-minute video so far, pushing into 13 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off because I don't like the number 13. Peace!